Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. As you can see by the title, we are going to declutter some makeup palettes that I have. And we're going to, just give some away and then keep some. But I hope and I pray that I'll be able to let go of some items because I have them for so long and they have to go away. So let's get straight into organizing my makeup palettes. I have from Beauty Glazed the lemon palette, and this I bought early this year or last year, I don't remember, but that's how it looks. It looks really good. I have not touched it, I have not even played around with it, so I'm thinking of keeping this. So I think I'm going to keep this. So this is my next palette. It's a spring palette, and this I got from June, and I have not used much of it. As you can see, it's a dupe of the Huda Beauty mini palette, I think so, yeah. And I have not used any of the shadows or anything. I just swatched some few, so I think they still look colorful. So this is for a keep. We have the autumn palette from the same brand, and this also I got from June. So this color story is also very interesting. I really like it. I have used it for a look before and it was really good. It was really amazing, and definitely this is for a keep. I'm just wondering when I'm going to give one away. So this is the next palette that I have, and it's also the same brand, and this is the summer palette. And oh, this came out broken when it arrived from June, but the color story is also very good, and the pigment is very good. I really love this palette, and I think I'm going to keep this. It's very pigmented, so this is for a keep. I'm going to keep this. And we have this palette from Juvia, the Saharan palette, and this I got from June as well. It's been like, I don't know, 2 years ago since I got this palette, and it's really good. They are so good, and it's been 2 years and I've not used much of it. I just used this shade and this one, Iman, and then Kia, the eyeshadow. So for me it's good, but I don't know, I've had it for a long time and I was thinking of creating a look out of this palette since it's old and it's from June, and I want to test it and see if it's still. So I'm going to try the red eyeshadow. Yeah, still not so good. Let's see this. Very good, very soft and very subtle. So I'm going to use this palette to create a look, and then after give it away. Next palette from Juvia as well. This is the Saharan Blush Volume 1, and this is also from the June app. So this is it, and I have not used it. This also came, I bought this from June 2 years ago, and I have not used much of it. Just this shade, and I think Zane, but apart from that, not so much. So I think I'm going to keep this. Let's see. Very nice. And let's see the shimmer. Still good. So I think this palette, I'm going to keep it. So this is the next eyeshadows that we have, and this I got from June. Shimmers, and they are very powdery, and this is more of a glitter, and I have not tried most of them. So this I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to keep this. So the next palette I have is this. It's called Sugar Box, and I think this is from June, like 3 years ago as well. And this is the shadows. They look very neutral. We like the shades and the shimmers. I really like it. And I have not used it. I have not touched it for 3 years. So I don't think I'm going to keep this because it's not something that I, consider when I want to create a look. So this I'm gonna give away. This is the next palette that we have. And it's from Revolution, and this is the Revolution Reloaded Iconic Division. And this palette looks really good. I like all the shimmers. They're really good, and it's mostly sort of neutral, but not so much for my skin. I don't know. I can't take this and then create a whole look out of it. I don't think so. So I think this I'm going to give it away. So we have our next palette. It's the Sleek Makeup palette, and this is the shadows. I have never, had the chance to play with these. I hardly, pick it up when I have to create a look. But I think I've used the yellow shade a bit. Create so much look with it, because if I have to create a look, I have to take a different palette to, match up with all this. So this, I think, is gonna go away. We have our next palette, and it's from Beauty UK. So this, I think I bought this palette here, and I like the colors. I like the purples and the white. They are very subtle, and I think I can create a look out of this. And I have not touched it so much, and I don't know how good it is, so I'm going to keep this. So this is the next palette that I have. Is from Beauty Glazed. Is the Pressed Glitter, and this I've had it for 2 years, I think. And I created a look using this red shade. I'm going to leave the video that I did using this palette in the description box below. I used this red shade, this red glitter, sorry, and it was really, really good. It came out so good, and I'm wondering whether the rest is going to come out as good as the red shade, the red glitter. So I'm going to keep this and try to create a look out of this. If you want to see me creating a look out of this, please leave it in the comment section below, and I'm gonna try to do it. So yeah, this I'm going to keep. So this I got as a gift, and I have not used it so much because they are only shimmers, and I don't tend to consider it when I'm creating a look, because there's so much shimmers, and I'm not into too much shimmers. I prefer more of matte eye looks. So this, I think, is gonna go away. We have the next palette here. It's from W7. Is the eye cushion. So these are 5 shimmers and 1 matte. The matte is the black one, but the rest are all shimmers, as you can see. This I have not been using, and I don't see myself using in the next year, in a couple of months or something. So this I'm going to give it away. So next we have this W7 Beat It. I like the packaging. It's really, really good. I really like the packaging, and you can even see all the shadows here, so it gives you an idea of what is this inside. I really like it. So these I haven't touched as well. These I have not used so much as well. I don't think I'll be using it anytime soon. This is gonna go away. Next we have this W7 Neon Night. I really bought this because I wanted to create a very I wanted to create a very interesting look, and this has a lot of colors which I really, really like. I like the lemon greens with the purples, with the burgundy and all that. I really like them. So this I think I'm going to keep because there's a lot of possibilities to create more looks with this palette. So I think I'm going to keep this. So next we have this palette. It's a Morphe palette that I got from Wish, either Wish or Joom. I've forgotten where I got this from, but there's the blush palette, I think so. I don't know the dupe of this, so it's sort of more like a blush palette or something. And this I have not touched so much. I don't think so. I've had it for about 2 or 3 years and I have not used it. So this, I think I'm going to give it away. So next we have this My Sign by Revolution. This is my sign. I'm a Taurus and I bought this and it's really good. So we have the concealer here and we have the shadows here. We have some highlights here. And so for these, I don't think I'll be using it, even though it's very small and compact and you can travel with it. This is gonna go away. We have the sleek makeup, and this is also a very, very interesting palette. It's the, I don't know, it's the Sleek Eye Divine makeup. I think you can create something out of this, so I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this palette. So next we have this magnetic palette that I bought from Joom, and in it I have created my own shadows. Here I bought some magnetic eyeshadows from Joom as well, and also from online shop here, and I have filled it up, which I know it's like in a weird way, but you know, I'll have time to buy more and create a nice palette out of this. So this, it's personal, so I'm going to keep this. So this is the next palette that we have. We have the winter palette, and it's from Meow or something. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but yeah. So this is the winter palette, and I have not used much of this because I don't like the color story, and most of all the pigment is not all that good. It's very chalky and it's not very pigmented. It's only mostly the shimmers that are very, very good. So yeah, this I'm going to give it away. Next we have this sleek makeup, and this is how it looks with this palette. I don't know, when I bought it I tend to use more of this this shade and this one, and that was all. I didn't need much from this palette, so I think I'm going to give this away. And this is also another sleek palette that I have. It almost looks like the first one. I tend to use mostly this color and this one. I don't tend to, you know, hold it or take it into my bag when I'm traveling or, you know, need it to create an eye look. So I think this I'm going to give away. So next, this is the palette that I have from Elf, and this is a very, very simple palette. It even tells you where to place the shadows. You have the base, you have the lid, and I think this is for, I don't know, you can see the writings, but it's very simple and you can create a look out of this. But I don't tend to grab this palette, so I think this I'm going to give it away. So this is the next palette I have that I bought from the US when I went there for a vacation. This is Ellen Tracy palette. I have not used this much, and we have some highlights and contours, but I have not used it very much. This can come in handy, but I don't see my skin tone or something that I can use. The only thing that I can use is the blush and then the highlights and this, maybe these as well, but I don't tend to, you know, take this and use it. So I think this I'm going to give it away. This is the next palette that I have, is the W7 Socialite. And I think this is the dupe for Huda Beauty's. I don't remember. I have the original palette, and then I have this because I got this as a Christmas gift. So I don't mind having the original palette and the dupe, so this is good. And like I told you guys, it's new, so I still sealed, and I don't want to, you know, open it up, because if it's something that I can gift back to someone, I can do it, because I already have the original one and I don't need a double of something. So this I might keep as well, and maybe someday give it away. So we have the next palette from W7. It's called Life's a Peach, the sweetest of peaches. And with this, I have not touched it so much. I really like the color story. I think it's a dupe for Anastasia something. I don't know which palette it is, but if you do remember, can you please leave it in the comment section below so that I remember? Okay, so this, I think it's good. I can create a look out of this, but I don't know. I think I'm going to let go of this palette because I can create a look out of it, but I don't use it, and I've had it for a while now. So I think this has to go. Hi guys, I'm here, and this is the next one. We have this one from W7 as well. It's on the rocks. It's neutrals on eyes, and this also a dupe for the Anastasia palette, which I don't remember. I don't remember the name for the original palette, but it's a dupe. And let's see. For this, I have used quite a lot. I've had this for almost 3 years now. Either 3 or 4 years, I don't remember. I could keep it, but no, I think I'm going to give it away. Let's see what we have. Okay, we have this one from W7 as well. It's called Delicious. This is natural and berry, and you can see the colors that you are going to have in this palette. So these are the colors, and this is also a dupe. This I don't think I'm going to keep. I've never tried it. I've only swatched it, and there's not much to do with this. I'm going to, you know, give this away. So this is the next palette that we have. It's Sophie Does Nails and Revolution, the palettes they created, and she did a review on her channel, which made me so interested, and I got this palette, and it's really good. I've used this not so much, but a whole lot as well. So I don't think I'm going to let go of this palette yet. I'm going to keep it and try to create more looks with this palette because it's really good and it's really pigmented. So these I'm going to keep. Next we have the Belonging palette from You Can Be. So I decided to buy this palette. I have not used it so much. I just swatched it. So I think I'm going to keep this and try to create you know, a look out of it. Use it maybe once or twice and see how good it is. And if it's good, I'm going to keep it. But if it's not, I'm just going to give it away later, sooner or later. So the next one that we have here is the Masquerade by Juvia, and this I bought from June like 2 or 3 years ago. I'm going to leave a link to the video when I reviewed this palette like years ago. You guys can go take a look at it and see how well it swatches. But this is what I have from the palette, and I've used this palette quite a number of times, and I can tell you it's really good, even though it's from June and it has been years since I bought it, but they still look really good, and they come out really good, especially the shimmers. They're so good. And this blue, oh my god, anytime I see it, I'm like, I can't let go of this palette because of the blues, because I'm so addicted to, you know, the shimmers and everything that is in here. So this I'm going to keep. So this is the next palette we have. It's the Magic Mini by Juvia. This is the original palette. This I didn't buy from Jum or something. This is the original palette, and I have not used this so much. I have not used it, not quite. So I think I'm going to keep this and create a look out of this because I love all of them and I've not used it, you know, so much. So I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep this. I am going to keep them. Next we have my new favorite, your shades from Beauty Glazed. I have created a whole lot of look using this palette recently, and it's a palette that, you know, I can swear by it. I can recommend it to you because it's so pigmented and it's really, really lovely. I can't tell you how much I'm in love with this palette, especially with the blue. I created a look using the blue from this palette. I'm going to leave the link in the description box so that you guys can go take a look. So this is it. I'm going to keep and not give it away. Next we have the Sugar Blood by Jeffree Star, and this is not a dupe. This is the original one, and this I have not used so much because I got it as a gift and I have not even swatched or done anything with this palette. So this palette I'm going to keep because, of course, who wants to throw away Jeffree Star's palette? No one, especially since it's new and not being used. So this I'm going to keep and then try to create a look out of this palette. I'm so in love with this palette, so I'm going to keep this. So this is the next palette that I have. Is from Revolution. It's the Reloaded Marvelous Mattes, and this I have used for quite a while now. Like I normally use this shade and I think this one, but I have not tried all of the shadows, and so I think I'm going to keep this and not let go of it because I have not used it so much to see whether it's good enough for me or not. So the two shades I've used, they're very, very good and I really like them, so I'm thinking it's a keep. So this is the next palette that I have. It's from Beauty Bay. It's their Bright, it's their Bright palette, and this I have not used as much as well. It was a Christmas gift from 2018 and I have not used it. I have not touched so much of this, so I think I'm going to keep it. Something that I can use to create a look, so I'm going to keep this. I have Beauty Killer from Jeffree Star, but this is a Jum. This is from Jum, so this is not the original one. It's a dupe that I bought from Jum years ago. This I have not touched it. I have not used it, which tells me that it's time to go now because even though I really, really love it and I don't want to, you know, let it go, I have to let it go because it's been years since I bought it and I have not touched it. So I think this have to go. Next we have this palette from Jeffree Star. This is not the original one. This is a dupe, and this I got from Jum as well years ago. So this is the palette. I have used this shade a lot, not so much. I have used this shade not so much, and this one as well. But like the other one, I have not touched it so much since I bought it like 3 years ago. So I think this, it has to go. Yes, this is the palette I was talking about. It's the Nude by Huda Beauty. So this is the original one, and this I'm in love with. This I'm in love with because I have used quite a lot especially you can see that it has been used. It's not just that it has been used. I have not used all the shades yet, but I am going to use them. So this I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep this. This palette I have is a Glow Kit from Anastasia. This is not the original one. This is also from June that I bought years ago, and is the highlights palette, and this I use a lot. So this is not going to go away. I still use it, not so much, but it's something that I use, so I think I'm going to keep this and not give it away. So this is the next palette that we have. It's Gorgeous Me by Beauty Glazed. I can also swear by it that it's really good. So this I have used it, but not so much like I should. So I'm going to keep this. This I'm going to keep. I'm not going to let this go because I really love the palette. I really like it. So I think I'm going to keep this. So this is the next palette that we have. It's Fantasy by Changeable. And this is the dupe of the James Charles palette. I think this I'm going to give it away because I'm thinking of buying the mini James Charles palette that he, brought out. So I think I'm going to give this out. I'm going to give this out. So this is the next palette that we have. It's Color Studio by Beauty Glazed. This is also sort of like a dupe for the James Charles palette, and I have not played around with this palette. I have swatched it and the pigment is there. It's really good. So I think I'm going to keep this and rather let go of the Fantasy palette. So this is much better, and I think I'm going to keep this and play around with this a little bit. So this is the next palette that we have. Is the Poppin' palette by Beauty Glazed, and it's something that I bought recently. It's a palette that I bought recently, and it's really good. I've not used it. I have not, touched it. I think I'm going to keep this and try to, use it because it's a really good palette and it's a dupe. So I'm going to try to keep this. I'm going to try to keep this. We have just two more and then we are done. We have this palette by Beauty Glazed as well. It's the Reversal palette. And you guys have seen me using this palette to create a look. And it always comes out good. So here it is. I really love this palette. It's so amazing. And I'm so much in love with this. And I've not used it so much because I got it this year. So definitely this is a keep. I'm going to keep this. So this is the last palette that I have. It's from Beauty Bay. It's 42 Colors Origin. Their palette that it came out with. And I have not used this. It's really crazy how much I have not used this palette. It's really good. It's really amazing. And the pigment is there. It's an amazing palette that it's crazy how much I have not touched it. So I think I'm going to keep this because it's expensive and there's so many things you can do with this palette. So I think I'm going to keep this. I've come to the end of my declutter. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Watching this video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit the like button if you like this video. And don't forget to share. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.